This morning is our water ingathering, and it's a Unitarian Universalist ritual that is done in many congregations across the continent around this time of year. When it is done, it is off a bookend to the year. The water ingathering is the ritual that marks the beginning of our year together, a year of service, the discovery and making of a life together, and in June, the flower communion concluding it, reminding us of what beauty we have given life to among us here in the year. The symbol of this ritual, like symbols of any kind, can have a myriad of meanings. Like the song the choir will sing in a moment reminds us, water is not just essential to life, it is omnipresent. It has many forms and plays many roles. It animates our world, and in the whole of it inspires awe. Just think of the waterfalls, think of the rain, think of the smell of the rain, all of that awe. And the gratitude, the humbles and the delights. So to gather in the waters is to commune with the reality of all of this awe.
We begin with water from last year's water ingathering. This water was used for our baby dedications and other ritual occasions. Adding it here reminds us that this river has history and continuity and staying power, even in the midst of its flowing and also always changing nature. The constancy of this place is what allows us the security to be bold. The invitation to serve the changing demands of the world and respond to the quiet callings from inside each of us are what invite us to grow. The river of life we are a part of here makes a place for both this constancy and growth.
Some of you may have collected and brought water from your summer days. For those who didn't, we have water here ready for you. But before we engage in the ritual ingathering today, we want to make space for us all to open ourselves to what invitation we might each already be hearing bubbling up in us during this threshold moment together. It might be an invitation to engage some part of your life differently or with a particular intention. It might be something we feel increasingly drawn to offer the world, acts of service of some kind, the risk and courage and gift of offering our own experience to those who might be struggling in similar ways that we have at times in our lives. Some growth or learning that we feel the desire or urgency to engage. Maybe it's time to tend to our health or to a relationship. It can be infinitely different for each of us. For you, what invitation is being handed to you this September, and how might you respond? Let's open to some silence together and to this wondering.
We invite those of you who would like to offer your waters and your reflections to the shared vessel we have here. We would ask those who want to come forward to do so from the side aisles only, so that we can see you when you speak. For those who cannot or who do not wish to come forward, there will be times when we'll ask you to raise your hand, and Kate will bring you a mic so you can say you're sharing, and Laura will pour waters. We'll also be having a time for those of you who are on live stream to enter yours into the chat, and Daniel will read them out, and we'll pour waters into the vessel so that we're all pulled into this service together. Here is a sentence that you might use to help you think about your sharing. This water is from some symbolic place of the season past, place you've been or place you're holding. The invitation of the season I hear is, and then a short sharing. We'll repeat that periodically so you have it fresh. So I'd invite you to come down the side aisles as you feel moved to share where symbolically, if you want to, the water you're sharing is from this season just past, and the invitation you hear in the season. And I will hold the mic here for those on this side to come share.
My water is from the beautiful vases that Faye put together with flowers, Faye and Robert, and Mom. And remind me.
The invitation of the season I hear is.
The invitation of the season I hear is community.
The water I bring here is symbolic of Washington State, where I used to live, and the beautiful, beautiful rivers there. The invitation of the season I hear is joy.
This water is from Camp Renee in Sonoma.
And this water, the invitation that we hear is to invite all to a sense of adventure and wonder.
I brought an empty cup today to symbolize my concern for the people of Gaza who are living without fresh water, and my invitation is to care about people in the world.
I'm going to ask Laura to let me use some of the water you have. I'm thinking of water from Lake Michigan, and the invitation of this year is embracing new possibilities.
I would also request that you share the water you have. I have water. It's from a Buddhist temple in Thailand where I used to live, but it's on the counter in the kitchen. The invitation is for you to please come meet me someday. Karen, not the complainer, new member. And please do remind me of your name. That's my invitation, and I hope to meet more of you soon.
I'd like to use Laura's water. This water is from San Francisco's family camp up in the Sierras, Camp Mather, and the lake in the middle is Birch Lake. And on the last day of camp, my kids always come out to the raft with me, and we hold hands, and we jump in. And so my invitation for the season is don't be afraid to jump.
I'm Meg Whitaker Green, and I bring water, Standing Rock, North Dakota. All of the tribes gathered there in the largest tribal gathering ever, and the sacredness of the water, which has now been contaminated by the oil companies. An invitation to please support the Native people of this country. We came here, many of us, from all over the world. They were already here.
I too ask Laura to pour water from Birch Lake at Camp Mather. And the invitation is to a place of peace within each of us.
My name is Dolores Perez Heilbrunn, and I bring this empty cup to symbolize the water that's needed in Gaza and the West Bank due to the devastation. And my hope is for peace and a ceasefire in that area. Thank you.
My name is Danielle, and my water is from the Russian River, where my husband, son, and friends went canoeing this summer. It was a windy river, and I have never done it. We really had to learn to work together, and so the invitation of the season is for cooperation.
I'm David. My cup is empty as there is no water, or certainly not enough, in Palestine. So this is to symbolize that.
I'm Mark, and I'm using water that was using our anthem today, helped tune this bottle to a pitch we needed. And and I'm celebrating, bringing, and honoring beauty.
We are Judith Otteson.
And Larry Green.
And we're bringing water from Brooklyn, New York, on a visit to our granddaughters who have finally graduated college and are starting their life. And the invitation is to support the blooming of new life.
Morning, everyone. The water that I bring is from the McCullumney River, which is the water that is in Oakland, Berkeley, Richmond, and part of my job at East Bay Mud, which is the people that provide that water, is to keep the water flowing from the McCullumney. So that's my new job, and my invitation is service to community, which you all are already very good at.
Good morning. My name is Chris, and this water is from Rancho La Puerta in Baja California, and my invitation is wholeness.
I'm going to take a moment, Daniel, and ask if there's anyone on chat we want to involve.
No one yet, but feel free to write in on the YouTube chat if you would like, and I will read it out for you.
And is there anyone who's seated who wants to raise their hand who would have a hard time coming forward or doesn't want to? Okay.
I'm going to ask Laura to pour some water. So this water is from the duck pond in McLaren Park, where I recently took Agni to. And this is an invitation to just take a step back and enjoy nature sometimes while we still have it.
My water, which I ask
the mic isn't working.
Laura to pour, is from the Northern Sierras where I was backpacking this summer. Streams and lakes, I'm thinking in particular of Benson Lake. It's a place where I can connect with the universe, and my invitation is joining UUSF as a way of connecting to humans.
I too pour an empty cup in solidarity with our brothers and sisters in Gaza who have no access to this life-giving substance.
So my name is Anne, and I'm bringing an empty cup not only for Palestine and Gaza, but for the Rohingya and Sudan and Flint, Michigan, and all places where the water is contaminated. And my invitation is hope that mankind takes a leap into a good leap. Thank you.
You can put it on the altar. I also bring an empty cup, and not only for those in Gaza, but for everyone who is denied access to safe, clean, and healthy water of any nationality, of any ethnicity, and of any faith. My invitation to myself, but also others may want to take it on as well, is to be fully authentic in my actions with other people, even if it's at my own expense.
This water is from the Eel River in Garberville, where I've been camping since I was 8, and I've taken my daughters and my parents and my spouse, and the invitation is for strength and growth.
I have a symbolic water from the streets of San Francisco on rainy nights, where I, among 10,000s of others, spend sleep, and which can often be infected with bacteria that causes cellulitis and diseases like Shigella and E. coli, into all those suffering. And I bring an invitation with open hands and a kind heart.
Hi, this was very impromptu. I have a bottle of water
I'll just do it symbolically to give, but it was actually filled here locally. At a hostel that I'm traveling and I'm staying at, and I'm grateful to have a roof over my head. There are many people traveling from other places that I've spoken with, a couple of French travelers, a couple from Spain, and anyway, the whole concept behind that hostel is to have interaction that is caring and accepting. They use the word tolerance. That's a very diverse population of people, but all of us can afford to stay there, even if it's barely. But my friend, I'm here because my friend is passing, and she can barely drink water right now. But she's given so much to the world, and I want to try to emulate her with tolerance and acceptance and compassion. I'm just thankful to hear what everybody's brought. So my invitation is to go forward and try to offer some of that and care for our environment, which has been mentioned too. And I was born near Standing Rock. Thank you.
Bill Shields writes in, I bring water via Laura, also from Birch Lake at Camp Mather, to celebrate the beauty of nature and our responsibility to defend it from those blinded by greed.
My water is going to be symbolic also. It's going to be for the tears I shed when I thought I lost my spiritual son, Prince. And he's like a son and a friend. And for the tears of joy that I cried when I found out that he was okay and he's come back. And my invitation is for the community to hold us all and hold Prince together so that we can keep him with us. That's it.
Come, Prince. So words can't express the gratitude I have for the church, for the people, you, Vanessa, more especially. She is like my spiritual mom. So yeah, I'm super grateful. And I'd say the best way to describe it would be like joy unspeakable, full of glory. Some things your spirit awakened just can't say. Like your mouth can't say what your spirit's, saying to the universe. And so this represents the, I would say the best word I could describe it would be like the ethos from the rivers of the firmament, if there were such a thing in a metaphoric way. Like this is a metaphor for the for the river of the firmament, which the ethos flows, where old things become new, and what arose from death. I think that's the age-old, philosophical question of what is all these, what is this, what is the purpose? But if there was such a place and someone did see it, and they did experience something so profound, that's what this would represent. Thank you.
Go add it to our waters.
Daniel, is there anyone else? Is there anyone here who wanted to raise their hands and have a mic brought to them? So then let's pour one last bit of water for all of life, all our adventures, all the gorgeous and heartbreaking places, all that we will hold together, as this congregation has for 174 years. Hold with life, generative energy, the ability to move in different ways as water does, with beauty and awe, and hopefully healing and hope and justice making. This water is a stand-in for all that feeds and nourishes our lives, and the power and the beauty of community. This river, changing and constant too, this place that we begin our year of life together again.
Together, we hold uncertainty, stormy seas, and joy as it comes.
And remind one another of the preciousness of these days we have that run too like water through our fingers.
What will be the invitations that we hear and respond to this year? How will our answers give life to great courage and greater love among us?
This is the mystery we wade into as we make, with the addition of our own lives, once again, the majesty, life-giving power, and beauty of this river, the community of our new year.
So may the waters gathered in and merged here today stand for all we are, separately and together.
And to the good people of the First Unitarian Universalist Society of San Francisco, we say, welcome home.